Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. I'm Mike Briggs, your host, and we're here to celebrate what's good about our community. Fresno, up to North Fork, out to Visalia, Madera, all over the valley. There's so many cool things going on, and we want you to know about them. So to that end, we invite people in to talk about what they're doing. Our guest today is Hansel Kern from Kern Family Farm. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the invite.
Now, you guys have a farm. It's up in the foothills here, North Fork.
Right near the geographic center of the state of California.
Right. And by the way, it's not just your farm, but you have the shop, the Gnarly Carrot.
Right. Yeah. Our farm is about 9 miles out of the town of North Fork.
Okay.
The mighty town of North Fork of 3,000 people.
Center of California.
Center of California. And our shop is right in downtown North Fork.
Oh, Gnarly Carrot is.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I think I told you last time you were here that I went to North Fork, and the power was out that day. I drove through the snowy mountains, and it was when we had all that snow and stuff.
Right.
So, now, what will people find at the Gnarly Carrot?
Well, the Gnarly Carrot is a real nice little small store, about 1,400 square feet, but it's got a little variety of everything. We have meat products, dairy products. We feature all kinds of vegetables. Okay. We support local farmers market here at the Vineyard in Fresno, and we buy from a company called Veritable Vegetable, who are our organic vegetable wholesalers.
Okay.
I meet their refrigerated truck every Tuesday morning here in Fresno.
Here in town.
And pick up a pallet for us and also for some folks that own a restaurant in Mariposa that have called the Grove House.
The Grove House. They must be serving fresh,
good stuff. If you're in Mariposa, I'd check it out. I deliver to our friends at the Fungi Temple in Oakhurst. So I bring them the pallet. They're friends with the owners of the Grove House. We transfer the food there, and then I shovel about 3 yards of mushroom compost onto my flatbed and bring it home. So I'm trying to make this most efficient use of my truck as I can.
Go in there, empty it, and load it up.
That's good. Going loaded and coming back loaded.
Tell us about the mushroom compost.
It's real interesting. It's mostly a hardwood, sawdust kind of material. It's got some millet, rice hulls, a few different little ingredients, and it's basically the mushrooms are grown in these little bags, and they inoculate them. And they're doing a really wonderful job, these folks at Fungi Temple, and
I get it now. I get it now. Fungi Temple. I get it now.
Yes, Fungi Temple. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been reading up on compost, so if anybody wants some interesting reading, it's very cool and important, I think.
Compost is real important. It's the food, the nutrition for the plants, we source from many places. We have a couple of horse ranches we pick up from. We have our own chicken coop and chicken manure. We have goat manure.
You put it all into the compost?
All the green waste from the farm. We pick up all the kitchen scraps from the Vipassana Meditation Center. And we have a compost return system at our store where people bring their buckets of compost from their kitchens. So the idea is to have a great diversity of organic matter. And you want to mix, you want to have it to be about 80% carbonous and 20% nitrogen, which is like green or green material or manure. And then that's the one thing I do with my tractor now that we're not tilling anymore is that I stir compost.
Stir compost.
And my son gets the fire hose and we hose it out in the summer and turn the piles every couple of weeks.
What does it need? It needs moisture?
It needs moisture.
And air?
And oxygenation. Right. Okay. You don't want the pile to sit still and get compacted and it gets putrid. If it has a kind of a gnarly, nasty smell, then it's more anaerobic and it's got water going on. We want an aerobic decomposition. So we want those microorganisms to breathe, and we want enough moisture that accelerates all that bacteria to do their job. We, as organic compost maker, we have to have at least 15 days over 131 degrees in the course of 5 turnings during the process of making our compost.
Do you measure the temperature?
We do. We have thermometers that are about 3 feet long.
3 feet long.
And we stab them in, and I monitor it, and I log it down in a notebook there So we always have about 3 or 4 piles of about 4 or 5 yards.
Well, you've inspired me because I quit compost. I always buy it every year. But you've inspired me to do it.
It's pretty fun. A lot of farms do buy it in.
Yeah.
Our CCOF inspectors are always impressed that we built all of our own compost on the farm.
Now, did you want to talk something about climate change?
Yeah, I just, a couple of things I really would like to say is, first of all, our store is turning 7. We've been farming for 20 years, 23, 24 years. I just cannot express enough the gratitude to our community, all the members of our community and from Oakhurst, and we have people come from Coarsegold, but 7 years strong in a little tiny town where half the businesses are for sale.
Yeah.
Anyone interested in opening a business in North Fork, come on up and check out the real estate
There's
signs.
some spots.
I have a lot of gratitude for the people that have stayed loyal to us over the years. We started out as a little drop-off point in the old abandoned theater with an ice chest and about 4 or 5 customers.
Okay.
And we probably have several hundred members now. And, you know, we're not getting rich, but we're paying the bills.
Getting the bills paid, yeah.
There's so many great people in North Fork that are supporting us. So that's the first thing that I really want to express today. And the other is that our family's growing. My daughter-in-law is going to have another baby in less than a month, and I'm the main babysitter of our 3-year-old grandson. And
Nice.
it's nothing but joy, and I'm just so excited about it. But the only troubling part for me about the grandkids is worrying about the world that they're inheriting from us. And I just feel that we all should really take more time and do what we can to try to mitigate the climate change that, you know, the vast majority of scientists in this world agree that it's a real problem.
Yeah.
And if we can't see it from things like the Creek Fire and Hawaii burning and all the nightly news, almost every night there's a weather story because everything's
big weather stories.
I call it global weirding. It's not that we're just getting warmer, but things are not, you can't count on them. And as farmers, every day to us is Earth Day.
Yep.
And we feel the climate change. I know a lot of farmers that are having insect problems or disease problems or weather problems. You know, if you don't get enough chill hours, your fruit trees won't produce. There's so many things that affect the farmer.
People don't know that you need warm days and cool days.
Yeah, and to me, I just implore and beg folks, especially the folks that maybe are climate deniers. I don't think it should be a political issue.
No.
I think it's a human issue. And it's really breaks my heart to see us bickering and fighting, and the government, you know, different politicians fighting each other over this when obviously the house is burning.
The house is burning down. That's
and
right.
So I just encourage everyone to
Pay
look into
attention.
their heart, and no matter what your political persuasion is, it's not a political matter. It's a human matter. And look into your grandkids' eyes and ask your own heart and your own soul if what we're doing is enough to mitigate this problem.
What do you think a person, an individual, can do just around the house to make
Well,
a change?
there's so many, you know, I think one of the biggest things our country has a problem with is waste. We waste everything, and we're very inefficient. You know, we throw a lot of food out. We drive to the store to get one item and then come back. You know, we try to, like I try to manage my truck. You know, I'm not perfect in all this. I'm driving an internal combustion engine, but I try to make my loads efficient. If I'm driving somewhere with my big truck, I try to grab a load on the way back and not make a separate trip, you know. So there's a lot of unnecessary driving. And I think the Valley and Fresno in particular, being the center of our high-speed rail project, should be proud of the high-speed rail. My friend Kermit over here was in Japan in 1962 in the military, and they had high-speed rail.
All the way back in 62.
Right?
Huh?
And we're
Wow.
just now still fighting about getting our first high-speed rail in this
right.
country.
I rode that train in Japan.
Did you?
Yeah. Amazing, yeah.
Our family is big railroad buffs, and
Yeah.
we've been on every main line on Amtrak in this country,
Every
to
train
every
you need to be
corner.
on, yeah.
Sleeper cars, we've done it with our family, babies. It's a great way to travel, and
really
trains
is.
are so efficient.
Yeah.
And I just would really like to see this high-speed rail project supported and funded and operating, and people use it.
Fresno's moved a little on the reducing waste. You know, we used to have 2 big cans for our trash, and you know, when I was on the city council, we reduced it to 1 can plus a recycling can. Now we have a green waste can, and now they're starting to insist on recycling the food waste or a food waste can. So I think that's a big step.
It's a big step.
Or little steps as we go. Or
My
getting
wife
somewhere.
is we call her the recycle queen of North Fork. You know, we have a building in our yard that all of our interns and, you know, all the family members have. She has barrels designated for all the different types of recyclables, and you know, that's a big part. It's just, you know, reusing and
right.
recycling and just trying to buy. You know, we have bulk food in our store. We try to limit the amount of plastic wrapping.
Yeah.
It's, you know, drives me crazy to see some of these school lunches that, you know, every little vegetable is wrapped in plastic. You know, so I think there's a lot of things we could do without changing majorly changing our lifestyle, but ultimately,
groceries once a month or whatever. Or
really
once
think
every
about
other
your
week.
driving.
Yeah. When you don't have
and
to.
that's one reason we went to no-till farming. We don't run the tractor on the fields anymore.
Right.
And tilling the soil actually releases carbon into the air. As the soil oxidizes in the sun, carbon's released. And there are scientists that say that we've contributed as much to our global climate change through agricultural practices as we have driving. So there's a lot of things to look into, but it's really near and dear to my heart, and I really worry for my grandkids and the next generations to come.
And your farming is all organic?
We are all organic. We have no pesticides. We hardly have any inputs. We build all our own compost. We don't buy a bunch of trace minerals anymore. I used to. My son really spearheaded the change to no-till.
Good for him.
And we use the biology of the soil and the mycorrhizal bacteria. Let them do their job of bringing those deep nutrients up to the surface and into our crops.
Nice.
Yeah,
very good.
So it's exciting. It's really rewarding work.
Well, Hansel Kern Family Farm, and the Gnarly Carrot. You said 7 years.
Gnarly Carrot. My daughter Becky manages the carrot. She's there 12 hours a day.
By the way, what a great day trip up to Norfolk. It's only about 45 minutes or something.
About to town,
Tell me, talk me through the directions. If I'm heading out 41 freeway, for example.
Yeah, what you do is you go up 41 like you're heading towards Oakhurst or Yosemite, and when you get just into the foothills, there's Road 200. It's the first stop light in the mountains, and you make a right there.
Okay.
And from there, it's about 15 miles to North Fork, and that's also the beginning of the Scenic Byway, which goes all the way up around Mammoth Pool and comes out in Bayshore Meadows and down to Oakhurst. But unfortunately, the creek fires laid waste to a lot of that country up there.
Go to North Fork. It's a 45-minute trip. Take a day trip. Go eat up there somewhere and open a business there, too.
There's a bunch of businesses ready to be opened. And get a smoothie or a juice with Becky at the Gnarly Carrot.
Yeah, smoothie. I bet it's healthy.
You bet.
It seems like all those Kern families, they all do healthy stuff.
We try. I've had I was 30 years a stonemason, ate my share of junk food, so I won't be self-righteous about all that. I've eaten my share, but it's helped me, my health. I feel better now than I did 15 years ago when I retired.
All right, Gnarly Carrot. Thank you, Hansel
Thank
Kern,
you
for coming. We'll be back with more right after this.